Hi, sweeties. How are you doing? Welcome to Naya Sim, and thank you all so much for all the love and support. Hope you all are doing great. Today, we'll be talking something very important, and it's about Dennis Prager, who actually was on an interview. I really don't know who interviewed him, and he was asked, "Why is it that after everything the Jews, went through the Holocaust and all that, why is it that they were able to excel in so many things?" And not just like in also in entertainment, that they were able to excel. He was asking what values and principle did the Jews applied, to make them excel and do well in life and in business, right? And guess what? And he was like, okay, Dennis Prager actually came out, said that it is because they are they do not believe in victimhood, right? Then he went further to say that African Americans believe so much in victimhood. That's why they are not excelling, right? So they keep saying that the leftists actually do not like black. Telling black people because they are victims, it makes them paralyzed. That's why they are not doing well. But because they were able to rise above that victimhood, that's why they are able to progress to this very moment. I am in shock. I am not lying. Let's get into this video.
Watch this.
Why, after such a dramatic event that happened to Jews, okay, with the intentions of wanting to eliminate every single Jew on the face of the planet, right? This is what Hitler's vision was, right? Why is it years later, after a crisis like that, what values and principles helped Jews pretty much own Hollywood, do well in business, do well in life?
Oh, I'll tell you, I have the answer
Go
for
for
you.
it, yeah.
They didn't see themselves as victims. It's the most paralyzing thing in black life, what the left is doing to blacks. The left hates you blacks, no, they don't hate you, they have contempt for you. Telling you you're a victim is paralyzing. Jews did not walk around thinking they're victims even after the Holocaust.
Why not?
Because they knew it is completely self-destructive.
How did they know?
I don't know. It's a great, well, maybe because of the Jewish tradition has always been, we take responsibility for our own suffering.
So why wouldn't the media try to target the Jews to make them feel victims? How come they didn't succeed with Jews?
The media doesn't have contempt for Jews. It has contempt
Why
for
not,
blacks.
though? Why not?
Because the left has contempt for blacks. Because they use them. They don't use Jews.
Why? Why can't they use Jews? If they can use any sect, they would do it. So why can't they use Jews?
Well, Jews are disproportionately on the left. There's no way around it. So, in effect, there's no need to keep.
They already have them, in a sense.
Yeah, in a sense, yes.
I got you. Why, after such...
That is Dennis Prager, the person over Prager University, PragerU, the person that Candace Owens used to work for. Candace Owens did a bunch of little mini videos for their educational stuff that they like to push out. PragerU, the PragerU curriculum that you can now find in some Florida schools, some schools in Montana, some schools in Texas, Oklahoma, Arizona. Yeah, that's Dennis Prager, and that's the type of shit that he likes to teach. All of his teachings are full of intellectual dishonesty. They whitewash history, right? Because just in that little clip, Dennis Prager left out a big chunk of what the United States government did to Black Americans in this country. He is having this conversation and presenting Black people as if we're just sitting around, woe is me, as if this country did not implement Jim Crow laws for 100 years. as if Jim Crow laws did not exist at all. Yeah, black people are just sitting around, woe is me, being lazy, don't want to work. Jim Crow laws were a collection of state and local statutes that legalized racial segregation, named after a black minstrel show character. The laws, which existed for about 100 years from the post-Civil War era until 1968, were meant to marginalize African Americans by denying them the right to vote, hold jobs, get an education, or other opportunities. Those who attempted to defy Jim Crow laws were either incarcerated or heavily fined. I would love nothing more than to ignore Dennis Prager and his lies. But we can't do that. Because if you ignore the lies, if you don't speak out against the lies, if you don't provide the proof of the truth against these lies then become the truth. So no, I can't ignore it. For as much as I want to, I can't ignore it. This man is putting these lies into schools across the country. He's teaching the younger generation these lies. He's teaching the younger generation to continue the racism, to continue to invalidate the history of black people. This is what he's teaching. He's whitewashing history. And we cannot allow him to do that. We can't let these lies go on unchallenged. They would love nothing more than for their children to believe that black people contributed nothing to this country, that we're lazy, that all we do is whine. We're on the Democrat plantation. They can't pull themselves up by their bootstraps. They would love for their children and their grandchildren and their great-grandchildren to believe that black people are useless in this society. We're not. And we can't let them do this shit to us and our history. Our ancestors, they died building up this country. Their blood and their sweat runs through the soil of this country. This country stands today because of black people in this country. And they tried to snuff us out every which way they could. And yet we're still here. We can't let them continue on with lies about our history, our ancestors' contribution to this country. We just can't let it go.
Let's talk about hate crime and hate crime legislation for just a moment. Now, the United States House of Representatives says, due to the fact that anti-Semitism has risen by 337% since October the 7th of last year, and college campus protests using From the River to the Sea, to pass a bill expanding the definition of anti-Semitism. And this bill passed quickly and with bipartisan support and a vote of 320 to 91. Now, at this point, you know this video is going to be longer than a minute. If you don't have the ability to follow a video for longer than a minute, or you're too busy to, you can scroll away at this time. Now, for the rest of us, let's look at this 337% increase in anti-Semitism that caused the United States House of Representatives to move so quickly and with bipartisan support. Now, the stats we will be using are the ones that are being provided by the ADL, or the Anti-Defamation League, because the FBI has not compiled their list of hate crimes for 2023. Now, let's go beyond the numbers. The cases in question by the Anti-Defamation League standards are 40 incidents of violence, physical violence, 749 incidents of verbal attack, 337 cases of vandalism, and wait for it, 905 rallies. Yes, in that 337% increase in anti-Semitic crimes, hate crimes, they're counting 905 pro-Palestinian rallies that have been held in this country since October the 7th. Now, you don't believe me? You can go to the ADL website yourself and look at the map they provide for data on anti-Semitic incidents. And you will see they have assaults listed, harassment, and vandalism. And the green, most of the green you see on this map, are 905 pro-Palestinian rallies that they are considering anti-Semitic. And it is an interactive map, and you can remove certain categories, like I removed vandalism, harassment, and the 905 rallies, and just looked at the 40 assaults. Now, you can do the same. Not only can you break it down and look at the 40 assaults, but you can click on each red dot and check out the dates for those 40 assaults. And like I said, you can do like I did and go to the interactive map and click on any dot you want to. Like I say, I'm looking at the assaults right now, and they will tell you when it happened. This one happened on 11/28/2023, November, and it's described as an elementary student was shoved to the ground and told that it was because they were Jewish. And this incident happened in Texas, in Corinth. Now, you may be wondering, what is my point, besides pointing out the hyperinflation to that 337% increase by the use of rallies? Well, let's start here. In 2022 alone, Black people were the victims of 3,421 hate crimes that did not include any rally or protest. In 2023 is shaping up to be an even worse year for hate crimes against Black people, because out of 42 cities surveyed by the center, more than half showed an increase in anti-Black hate crimes, with some reaching historical highs like New York, Los Angeles, Austin, Texas, and Sacramento, California. 5 states, Colorado, New Jersey, Ohio, Texas, and Utah, also broke their records for anti-Black hate crimes. Black people remain the most frequent target, not only for extreme killers, but have been the most frequent target for overall hate crimes for every year since data has been collected, right up until the partial data is available for 2023. Hate crimes targeting Black people under the age of 18 rose 10% in 2020, 12% in 2021, and 14.6% in 2022. And we have not even got to the complete stats for 2023. Which brings me to my point in closing. Without even overinflating the incidences of active hate crimes against Black people in this country by using some arbitrary manner of protest, Black people's incidents of hate crimes in this country are almost 4,000 by themselves. And yet still, our United States legislature has not moved with speed, quickness, or bipartisanship to do anything to pass legislation to address that fact. Let that sink in.
You see, there are some things you see and you are wondering how do people try so hard to minimize people's experience. Because I don't know, for those that do not know Prager, you already need to check him out and his education and all that, because some of his works are on YouTube and all that, and all they teach are all lies about history, you know. And the fact that people listen to people like this is just horrifying. That's why, when they said that history benefited slaves and all that, before we could say Jack, he made a video about it and put it out there. And this is also the person Candace Owen worked for. You all can see why Candace Owen was doing what she was doing and how she was behaving towards people that look like me. This is just a great example, right? And the fact that people are not telling the story or the history the way it should be told. At least if you want to talk about people's history, make sure you come correct. Make sure you are saying the truth. Make sure you are telling the real thing. Stop removing out of people's history and then putting, right? Because when you are doing that, you are absolutely lying, right? He actually said that, we black people are there's so much they always act like victims. Wait, are they acting like victims? Like those things that they've been talking about, or or their experience were all lies or something. Look at the people, the Jewish, that you all know that Holocaust did not happen in American soil, but they got reparations. Did they not get reparations? Absolutely, they did get reparations. But people that look like me did not get reparations. So what is Dennis saying? Because I am finding it hard to understand where he is coming from. Make it make sense. It looks like everybody want to have a platform. Everybody wants to have a voice. But there are some voices that when you hear, it gives you headache. Dennis Prager actually knew that he is lying. He is not being truthful. Like Sister Tabitha said, we all can talk about Jim Crow, right? The mass incarceration that happened. Like when you disobey the laws and all that. Redlining and the rest. Are they trying to tell us that all these things are what we made up? Did anybody make all that up? No. Do you know one good thing I love about African American history? African American history is well documented, that when you are looking for something and you search for it, you can easily find it. It's really amazing how people wake up and all they want to do is gaslight. They just want to gaslight themselves, because sometimes when I look at them, they are not gaslighting me. During that time, like she said, during Jim Crow, like if you refuse, those who attempted to defy Jim Crow back then laws, face arrest, jail, and some of them, and the rest of it, all they wanted was to marginalize African Americans by denying them their rights to do some certain things, get a job, education, with other opportunities. You all even can remember back then the stories and all that. Ruby, how she was. I don't know how. I don't know, but I am really finding, I am kind of pissed. Why? Because people will choose not to tell the truth, especially when it does not concern them, right? He is lying and he knew it. He knew it. Is it the period people that look like me could not get accommodations and all that, could not enroll in school? Until this very moment, when did Crown Out Act, when did they approve that? Even some states are still finding it hard. That when you wear your hair and all that and the rest of it, you are being like, the segregation is something, I mean, people are not talking that enough, and they just want to minimize people's suffering and experiences and what people went through just because they do not want to, or sometimes they want you also to feel like, we went through the same thing, but we don't talk about it, but you all are still focusing on the things that happened in the past. Now, let me say this. When you forget about your history, you have absolutely forgotten about your existence. That's why that's why a history is being repeated. And you know what happens when you repeat history? You are going to learn the hard way. Dennis Prager, I hope you are having the great day you deserve. See you all in my next video. Bye for now.